Okay, I realize that, since I'm a critic, you may brand me as some stuffy, Merlot-sipping fop who scoffs at any comedy film that has a sex joke. And I say, thou is wrong, and also kind of a dick. I enjoy a wide variety of comedy, and it's pretty easy to make me laugh in general. You know, if they try. And I know that statement is more loaded than me on Halloween, but simply put, some of my favorite comedies are ridiculous, but have some comedy chops on display. Being funny is hard, and being able to mix solid comedy with the trappings of horror is no easy task, as it's easy to tip the boat too far in either direction. Accomplishing this is something to celebrate, and so here are 5 horror comedies that actually made me laugh. Maybe they'll do the same for you. I'm going to put the most obvious pick first, and that's Shaun of the Dead. I'll be honest, I don't love this film as much as many others. It's better than At World's End, but, you know, so are a lot of things. Yet it didn't have the pacing or, frankly, the jokes of Hot Fuzz. It veers just a bit too far into an emotional zombie movie, and the script could have been punched up with more jokes. But before you hit that downvote button, consider what I said a backhanded compliment rather than an insult. Because the reason I wanted more jokes is because the film, when it's funny, is hysterical. Edgar Wright's knowledge of the genre helps the film parody virtually every aspect of zombie films, and the editing is genius in parts. In fact, I would say the best jokes are editing related. I like how the movie starts great, with the intro offering interesting parallels and foreshadowing. Shaun is an engaging character, the use of music is effective, and that cricket bat is iconic. It's funny, it's well made, you can tell the cast had a ball making it, and as far as zombie spoofs go, this one is the holy grail.
Sorry, we're closed!
Piss it.
I love Alan Tudyk. This guy may be the most underrated comedy actor ever. He throws himself completely into every role, and he kills it every time. And together with his co-star Tyler Labine, he brings some genuine laughs in Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. Something that's consistent in all the films on this list is not just the love for horror that the writers and directors put on screen, it's the cast. The 2 leads fully devote themselves to their accents, emotions, and total buffoonery. Watching a horror film from the perspective of outsiders, especially those who are clueless to the situation at hand, is a fresh angle to the genre. The teens in danger and the main characters both misinterpret each other constantly, and the film takes the absurdity to new heights without skimping on the horror setting. It's a clever concept, performed well, and it moves at a quick clip. Solid.
Whoever used to live here must have been an archaeologist or something.
Yeah, yeah. Look at this. Must have been a real news junkie, too.
Chubby's Chili Dog Depot. Buy 3, get 2 free, no expiration date.
All right.
Score!
Horror comedies are a dime a dozen, but how about horror comedy pseudo-documentaries? What We Do in the Shadows is one of the biggest surprises in horror comedy in years. Centering on the day-to-day lives of vampires that's like watching The Real World, Interview with a Vampire, and Kiwi comedy at the same time. This flick spoofs everything about housemate, Big Brother type shows. From semi-confrontational roommate meetings about chores, to the disappointment of hosting a lame party. There's so much vampire lore going on that it's clear the filmmakers did their research. And all of it makes for great comedy gold. The film is surprisingly gory, the tone is dry without being dull, and the scene with the werewolves was hilarious. If you like awkward humor, and especially if you watch vampire films or Flight of the Conchords, this is one to watch.
Give each other feedback and help each other out until we're looking great.
Yeah, some of our clothes are from victims. You might bite someone and then you think, ooh, those are some nice pants. Do with these.
Change it.
When you're a vampire, you become very sexy.
Okay, here's the plot synopsis of the Irish horror comedy Grabbers. A small Irish town is invaded by blood-sucking aliens with tentacles. However, the aliens die if they suck blood with significant alcohol content, and so the town has to fight the aliens while being completely smashed. Is there any more I really need to add? Okay, well, apart from the concept, the script is sharp, creating memorable characters that clash and cooperate in funny and believable ways. The CGI is much better than I expected, and the windy, sea-torn location makes for engaging visuals. I like how the use of alcohol doesn't only provide fun party scenes and action, but is used to reverse the 2 lead characters' purpose in the story. It's a great rental with friends or family, so grab some brewskis and find it. And if nothing else, it made me want to visit Ireland again. Oh, by the way, that campfire theory about Guinness tasting better in Ireland than it does in America, it's totally true.
Right, weapons. What have we got?
Crap.
I have a nail gun and a board with a nail in it.
Well, I've got a Hurley and a pellet gun.
What are we going to do with the pellet gun?
Shoot pellets. But I don't have any pellets.
Oh, right. Well, you can just wiggle it at them then. All right. What have you got? I've got a flare gun.
I just have a flare gun.
I'm no expert on comedy. Hell, most of my videos aren't funny at all, but I do know that widely different scenarios bring us laughter. You can laugh at physical comedy, at a clever joke, at a ridiculous story, but one that is particularly scrumptious, yes, that is the best word for it, is when something makes you so happy you can't stop laughing. It's the, oh my god, that is awesome kind of laugh, because the film has masterfully used something you recognize, not just throwing Easter eggs and obvious references like lazy confetti, but truly understood and manipulated an icon in a creative way. And such laughs come full force in The Cabin in the Woods. There's so much love for scary films here, so much detail into not just how the tropes are portrayed, but how they are used to further the plot. The first act is like watching a playground being constructed, and the third act is Recess. Insane, imaginative, gory Recess. Even without the monsters and violence, it's a joy to watch the characters evolve to better serve the story, and the script actually gives explanations for the holes in horror plots and its own. The scene with the various cursed objects early on was when I realized, oh, this is gonna be good, and it just soared from there. Yeah, I got minor issues, like the stoner character being built like a tank and trying to hide it under a jacket and a bong, and the music is serviceable but nothing special, but honestly, none of these really hurt the film. If you love horror and somehow haven't seen this, go watch it now. And if you aren't learned in this genre, you still get to see someone get gored by a unicorn. No, really, it's awesome.
そして今、キコの魂はこのカエルの中で幸せに生き続けていく。
Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!
You seeing this?
Perfect record, huh?
The Japan crew should have had this in the bag. They fucked us. How hard is it to kill 9-year-olds?
0 fatality. Total wash.
I'm telling you, you want good product, you gotta buy American.
What are some horror comedies that made you laugh? Comment below. Let me know if you'd like to see this turn into a series, and drop me some recommendations. Thanks for watching, guys.